Thank you. I am GaBe MoRaLeS, and my mom thinks that being Puerto Rican made her psychic. Like, my original name was supposed to be Juan Gabriel. And for those of you who don't know who Juan Gabriel is, he is the Mexican version of Luther Vandross, or the Mexican Liberace. So, right around the time that I was supposed to be born, there were all these rumors going around about Juan Gabriel. So my mom got it in her head that if I grew up, that if she gave me the name Juan Gabriel, that I would grow up to be gay. Well, she was right. So one day I asked her, like, Ma, like, what made you think that I was gonna grow up, like, to be gay if you gave me this name? Ay, yo no sé, Gabriel, yo no sé, yo no sé, yo no sé. It was a feeling I had, a feeling. I was like, Ma, newsflash, I had just been born. I needed a name. What did I do? She's like, ay, yo no sé, Gabriel, yo no sé, yo no sé, yo no sé. It was a feeling. I'm like, a feeling? Like what, was I sucking affectionately on my baby bottle? And I gave it all away? My mom may have been psychic, but apparently she'd never heard my name in English, because I ended up with the one name in English that has the sound gay in it. Kids would make fun of me in school, call me gay, pause for a few seconds, and then add the brio part. Gabriel, Gabriel. Like they were the first kids to learn about syllables or something. And I never knew how to respond to this until finally one day I built up the courage to finally say, what makes you think that I'm gay? I'm not gay. I'm Puerto Rican. And they would get this scared look across their face like I was gonna rob them, beat them, or pistol whip their little bitch ass. And as you can see, I'm not really that big a guy. So can you imagine how gangster my gay was when I was 8? I've been getting racially profiled for a long time, and I used to think that being ethnically ambiguous was going to be great for my career. Until I was doing a show the other night, and this guy yelled out at me, and he's like, yo, you look like that Muppet, Gonzo. And I was like, you think that's a diss? That's a compliment. Gonzo's my favorite Muppet. Except I didn't remember what Gonzo looked like. Do you guys remember what Gonzo looked like? Like, I didn't. So, like, I had to rush home and Google image him, and then I, like, realized why I was in love with Gonzo when I was a little kid. Gonzo looked like a big dick and balls. Then I had to get a headshot, and the photographer was, like, telling me what kind of characters I'd be great at. He's like, you'd be great at playing the Taliban. The Taliban! The Taliban! And he said it like 3 times, like the FBI was around the corner waiting for me. And I was like, what do you know that I don't know? Excuse me. But it gets worse. Because after 15 years of living in New York, I think New York has finally started to rub off on me. I went to the airport to pick up my mom the other day at the airport, and she walked right past me. Like she hadn't even seen me. Or like she got Alzheimer's on the way over here. So when she finally saw me, she was like, Ave Maria Purísima, Gabriel, ¿qué es lo que te pasó a ti? You look Jewish. And I was like, okay, Mom, but if you don't hurry it up, Taliban Gonzo is gonna be late to temple. So, thank you guys, thank you. I grew up in San Francisco, and as kids, we were always afraid that the gays were gonna get us. I'm pretty sure you think they got me. They did. I just had to wait to grow up. They didn't really want me when I was a little kid, which was great. But we used to have this running joke that we would play as kids. So if we ever dropped our keys, we would say, kick them to the next block. If you ever had to tie your shoes, wait till you get home. 'Cause the gays are gonna get you. So I used to drop my keys, my wallet, leave my shoes untied, and I waited, and I'm still waiting until I moved to Harlem. And this fine 6'2" thug stops me in the street, and he was like, yo, man, you know what a bisexual spot is around here? And I was like, is this a trick question? And he was like, you want some of this? you want some of this? You want some of this? And I was like, what kind of gay bashing setup is this? He's like, nah, man, I'm kind of fond of you. I want to get with you. And I was like, oh man, I don't got no time. So we get back to his place, and the thug turns into Little Richard on me quicker than I could say a wop, babaloo, wop, wop, bamboo, tutti frutti. Yes, and I hate when this happens, because it messes with my head. Both of them. And that was when I realized I was a little homophobic. It's not just you guys, it's me too. Thank you guys, thank you. One of the things that I find really, really interesting is that straight guys think that gay men are trying to recruit them, which I don't really quite understand. With all the like gay and bisexual men in the free world, I'm gonna go out of my way to try to convince a straight man to have sex with me. Like that's just way too much work. It's just like way too much work. If I wanted to be around a bunch of straight guys, I would rob banks. I'd beat up old ladies in the street. Or I get a bunch of drugs and set up in front of a precinct and say, stop and frisk me, stop and frisk me. It's about working smarter, not harder. Besides, some of you are ugly. Like, I would much rather be with a woman than any of you. But I get it. If you guys can objectify women, we get to objectify you. It's all good. One of the things that I don't quite understand, have you guys heard this phrase, no homo? What I don't really quite understand about this phrase, no homo, is that most of the guys who use the phrase, no homo, are usually walking around with their pants sagging below their ass for homos like me to see. So if any of you know them, you can tell them that I like hamstrings and I like calves, so they can sag a little lower if they need to. It's all good in my hood. But I think this pants sagging thing is a conspiracy to get rid of the homo. Because I was driving around Harlem the other night and I almost crashed like a dozen times from all this ass jiggling in my face. But I get it. It's like looking at J-Lo or Kim Kardashian or Janet Jackson or any woman with a big ass. No hetero. I'm gonna finish with this since you guys are having such a wonderful time with me. I'm first generation American. My mom is from Puerto Rico, my dad is from Guatemala, and he never wanted to study for this test to become a citizen. So I was pretty much on my own when it came to learning American history. Like, my dad used to think that the 4th of July was the day that they had freed slaves. So every 4th of July, he would walk up to black people and say, congratulations, you're free! Thank you guys very much. I'm GaBe. Have a good night.